Welcome to Finance Dojo. We aim to be the best personal finance educational channel you'll ever need. Click that subscribe button and the notification bell right now so you won't miss out. In this video, we'll look at 8 bad habits that impoverished people have that keep them down on their luck. Number 1. The poor play defense. In any given time, how likely are you to win if you only play defense? Either extremely low or none, correct? Despite this, the majority of individuals engage in the game of money in the same manner. For them, the most important thing is not to win, but to avoid losing. They just care about making the minimum monthly payments and avoiding further debt. Unfortunately, if your only aim is to keep your head over water, this is all you will receive. Certain individuals go even further and save 10% of their salary and invest it in the stock market in the hopes of having a nest egg to fall back on their old age in case the market goes bad. But for the time being, they'll have to settle for the security of a little salary. However, if all you care about is making ends meet, you'll remain where you are for the foreseeable future. Stop playing defense and start playing offense and aim for the stars if you want to build a fortune. To quote a wise man's advice, if you aim for the stars, you'll at least hit the moon. Number 2. The value of freedom isn't a priority for the poor. Democracy isn't what I mean when I say freedom. Having a freedom is being able to live the life that you desire rather than the one that someone else wants you to live. Because of this, it is common to hear, money isn't important. You don't have to spend your entire life after money for the most renowned among them. Some folks labor all day and night simply to keep the debt collectors from coming to the door of their homes. They are doing the job that they wish they could quit, not just because they despise the work, but also because they despise their employer. And if given the chance, they would leave that employment. That is why money equates to liberty. So how do you expect yourself to pursue money if you see it as a negative? Rich individuals continue to accumulate wealth because it allows them to do anything they want with their life. Number 3. People who are poor work very hard for their money. Isn't it supposed to be the case that you work hard for your money? Allow me to explain. What do most individuals do to increase their earnings? They put in more effort to advance in their careers, and if that isn't enough, they may consider working extra or taking on a second job. The difficulty is that, no matter how much you are paid, your time is limited at the end of the day, and wealthy people are well aware of this. So rather than working hard for their money, they let their money work hard for them. They view money as a tool that can help them generate even more money, rather than merely a piece of paper that can be used to buy whatever they want, as most people do. Of course, you'll have to work hard for the money at the beginning, but for the wealthy, it'll be temporary, and for the poor, it'll be permanent. You will have greater freedom if you earn enough money to replace yourself. Number 4. The poor concentrate on obstacles. One of my pals wants to create a restaurant franchise. He's been telling me that for the past 3 or 4 years. But when I question why he hasn't begun, he always say, I don't have the money and I don't want to get into debt. And this is the issue. People in poverty are always seeking for something to go wrong. He could have found an investor or at the very least, accumulated enough money to get started in these 4 years. He hasn't even looked into the market or devised a strategy. He feels that once he obtains the money, everything else will fall into place. But what will happen is that he will run into yet another stumbling block. There will always be difficulties, and there are millions of things that may go wrong, no matter what business you wish to start. And if you're like my friend, who doesn't do anything but grumble about how bad things are, you're probably in the same financial predicament as he is. Even if they have the money and all the necessities, some individuals will say things like, what if it doesn't work? Or what if it becomes public knowledge that I have failed? No one gives a damn about it, for the love of God. Number 5. The poor like to be paid on a time basis. How frequently do you hear individuals say things like, "I deserve to be paid $50 an hour or $60 an hour. I have a degree from such and such university. I put in more effort than everyone else, and I am brighter or more brilliant than anyone else." Nobody cares. What counts is how much value you can produce at the end of the day. You may be working harder than Jeff Bezos, but he will be paid $4.5 million per hour, while you moan since his firm is delivering value to millions of people all over the world. Number 6. The poor despise the wealthy and successful. I was watching an interview with a successful and well-known entrepreneur the other day. Then I went down to read some of the comments, and I noticed that many people were, "This jerk has no right to be on this channel. He is a slime," and that bothered me because the person worked hard to get to that position, and even if he inherited part of his fortune, he is probably far more disciplined than you. Some people appear to have a moral responsibility to despise the top 1% or specific wealthy families. Here's a helpful hint. Why don't you join them instead of hating them? Number 7. The poor believe they know everything. This is the one that everyone laughs at. When faced with financial difficulties, what do individuals do? They moan about it, and there are a billion things you can blame for it, starting with the country's leaders and ending with your employer. However, if you advise him to pick up a book and study the fundamentals of money management, he will. He'll tell you, "This is my money, and I know how to look after it." So, if you've worked it all out, why are you constantly broke? Then they'll make even more excuses for you, and it isn't just about the money. Everything else on the other hand. Have you noticed that when people get into a disagreement, they strive to prove that they are correct, even if they are not? Instead of trying to learn, they want to prove that they are correct. To be honest, I used to have a similar mindset when I was a teenager, and I was rather obstinate. But then I realized that if I kept going like this, I'll never progress. So I stopped behaving as if I knew everything and started focusing on my flaws and how I might improve them. Number 8. Poor people mismanage their money. Money management is not something you are born with. Rather, it is something you must learn. Just because you have money doesn't guarantee you know how to properly handle it. People believe that learning to manage their money will limit their independence. They don't want to stick to a budget or consider long and hard before making a purchase. They finally receive their salary and they want to enjoy it. But the truth is that if you don't manage your money, you'll never attain financial independence, and that fleeting sense of thoughtless contentment isn't true freedom. Second, many people believe that to handle it, you must earn a lot of money. Trust me, it's a lot harder than you think. And if you can't manage your income effectively, how do you think you'll handle 10 times that? You've undoubtedly recognized by now that a poor attitude is what makes poor people truly poor. And not having money is one of the repercussions of that mentality. The good news is that you can alter your mindset. That doesn't imply you'll be sitting on a stash of cash the next day. No, but over time, you will begin to see things differently, think differently, and instead of moaning, you will begin to take advantage of all the possibilities that come your way, and your financial condition will improve. The greatest way to help the poor is to avoid becoming one of them, as a wise man once stated. As always, this video is for educational purposes only and not financial advice. You should always do your own research and speak to a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.